My name is Clara Whitmore, and I am 29 years old. I live in the small town of Silver Creek, Montana, a place that feels like it is suspended in time, where the mountains embrace the sky and the rivers sing to the stars. I grew up in a world where everyone knew each other, and that familiarity felt like a warm blanket, comforting and safe. I worked as a graphic designer at a local firm, and I adored the creativity in my job, as it allowed me to express myself and escape into vibrant colors and shapes. Still, on some days, I felt trapped, a big fish in a small pond, yearning for something more. Yet I had my little routines, coffee at the local cafe, hiking on weekends, and close friendships that I cherished. Life had its ups and downs like everyone else's, but I was content. Everything changed one fateful autumn day. My friend Jessica, who had been my confidant and ally since childhood, betrayed me in a way I could not have imagined. We had planned a big project together that meant a lot to both of us, an art installation that would showcase the talent of local artists and transform our town square. We had spent countless hours sketching designs, budgeting, and creating proposals. But just when I thought we were ready to present our idea to the town council, I received a text that shattered my trust. Jessica had taken our entire concept and pitched it to a much larger firm without me. I felt like the ground had disappeared beneath my feet. The betrayal cut deep. It was not just business, it was personal. Instantly, I went from feeling hopeful to under siege. I pictured her, with a false smile, presenting my hard work as if it were her own. The anger surged inside me, and I knew I could not let her get away with this. I resolved to reclaim my project and expose Jessica for what she had done. I began by gathering proof of her betrayal. I dug through our old messages, photographs of our brainstorming sessions, and notes we had exchanged. I felt invigorated by the evidence piling up, a sense of power that had long been missing. I planned a meeting with the town council, ready to unveil the truth. But the more I pursued my plan, the harder it became. Jessica caught wind of my intentions and tried to win the council's favor. She brought gifts, she schmoozed, and she painted herself as the victim in this situation, claiming that I had abandoned the project. Just when I thought I was gaining traction, it felt like she was crushing my spirit. With my evidence in hand, I presented my case to the council. But I faced not only Jessica's charm, but also the narrow-mindedness of some of the council members, who were more impressed by her glossy presentation than by my heartfelt plea. I watched as my dreams slipped through my fingers while I explained my side, pleading my condition for how hard I had worked on the project all along. In the end, the council decided to go with Jessica, captivated by her facade and the illusion of innovation she projected. As I left the meeting room, my heart and spirit sank deeper. It felt as if I had lost not only the project but also a part of myself. I was at my lowest point, isolated and crushed. Weeks passed. I shut myself in my apartment, constantly wrestling with a whirlwind of dark thoughts. Many nights, I could not sleep as I replayed my failure over and over in my mind. I had lost my best friend and my dream project, and I could not bear the thought of facing the town and Jessica's smugness. But deep down, a flicker of determination began to emerge. I refused to let her get the better of me. I ruminated on the situation, feeling the storm in my mind churn as each day passed. I decided to take action, but this time I would not strike out in anger. I would outsmart her instead. The more I thought about it, the more I recognized how to approach my revenge. I started working on an even bigger project, one that would not only reclaim my dignity, but also overshadow Jessica's version. I informed a few trusted friends about my plan. Slowly but surely, I gathered a team of talented artists, each having faced their own struggles, and we dove headfirst into planning a grand art installation that would celebrate the spirit of Silver Creek. We would show the town the real essence of our community, raw and genuine, instead of Jessica's hollow glamour. The project grew into a massive undertaking, one that required a summer of dedicated effort and long hours. I felt the spirit of creativity elevate me, and this new venture breathed life into my soul. We designed murals that shared stories of struggle and triumph, carved sculptures from local materials, and engaged the community through workshops. With every day, we chipped away at the sorrow Jessica had left me with and built something much more meaningful. I kept my head low as I worked, spreading word of our project, enticing the town and making sure to invite the council to witness our progress. My confidence grew stronger with each passing day, and I could feel the energy of the community rallying around us. Finally, we reached the day of our installation unveiling. As we finished the final touches, I stood in front of the creations that had sprung forth from heartache, determination, and unity. I was no longer just Clara Whitmore, the defeated artist. I had transformed into a beacon of hope and empowerment. The day of the unveiling arrived, and I invited the town council, alongside members of the community, to witness our culmination of hard work. I felt anticipation tingling in the air. As the attendees gathered, I could see some familiar faces, including Jessica, who wore an expression of disbelief when she saw the scale of the installation. As I spoke to the crowd, my voice steady and clear, I shared my story. I told them how betrayal had forced me not into despair, but into innovation, how I had turned my grief into a cause for forward motion. I explained how true creativity comes from the heart, and how the essence of our community was far more important than any personal accomplishment. I noticed Jessica's expression hardening as I spoke, raw jealousy bubbling beneath her attempted smile. After my speech, the crowd erupted with applause, and it felt invigorating to know that I had won them over. In that moment, I was filled with gratitude for my friends who had supported me and the community that had rallied behind us. Eventually, I confronted Jessica in front of the audience, calling her out for her deception. The crowd gasped as I laid bare the evidence of our earlier collaboration, showing how she had robbed me. But instead of angrily attacking her, I chose to show compassion. I explained how I had hoped our friendship would flourish, how we could have created something beautiful together, and how her choice would only fragment our community. In that moment, I forgave her and expressed hope that she could learn to be more genuine. The crowd watched in silence, and I could see Jessica's shaky facade begin to crumble. After an uncomfortable pause, Jessica turned to me, her eyes watering with regret, and apologized publicly. In that instant, I realized that while revenge had fueled my journey, forgiveness and community had triumphed over betrayal. I felt vividly changed. My revenge was not in the downfall of another, but in the uplifting of my community, a twist I never expected. As the sun set over Silver Creek and enveloped us in warm hues, I felt a sense of belonging wash over me. I had reclaimed my identity, not through destruction, but through innovation, empowerment, and love. And in that space, I knew I could soar high above the mountains once more.